Hi everyone, my name's Karin Swift and I've been asked today to talk to you about the good, the bad and the ugly of co-design. I've had the privilege of working a lot in co-design as I'm a long-term member of QDN and I'm involved in a lot of their co-design work through QD Engage. First, I'd like to talk to you about the good of co-design. My first point is around empowerment and ownership. Co-design empowers people with disability and their families by giving them a voice in the design process. This active participation fosters a sense of ownership and commitment. When individuals see their ideas and feedback reflected in the final product, they feel valued and are more likely to support and promote it. The second point I'd like to talk to you about is enhanced creativity and innovation. Diverse perspectives drive innovation. Co-design with people with disabilities brings unique insights and creativity that can lead to solutions beyond what traditional design methods may achieve. My third point is around better understanding of user needs. So co-design offers a deeper understanding of the needs and experiences of people with disabilities. Engaging directly with these individuals allows designers to uncover insights that traditional methods may overlook, ensuring that the final product aligns with users' actual needs and preferences. My fourth point in this section is around increased user satisfaction and adoption. So when people with disabilities and their families are involved in the design process, they're more likely to feel that their needs have been considered. This leads to higher satisfaction and increased adoption of the final product or service. People are likely to embrace something they help create because it reflects their input and addresses their specific needs. Now I'd like to move on to the next section of my presentation and talk about the bad of co-design. So the first point I'd like to make is around it being a time-consuming process. Co-design can be a lengthy process, particularly when involving people with disability and their families. Conducting workshops, gathering feedback, and iterating on design requires time, which can lead to delays and increased costs. This can be a significant drawback in fields where rapid development is crucial. My second point is around the potential for conflicts and compromises. Diverse stakeholder involvement can lead to conflicting needs and priorities. Co-design sessions may reveal differing opinions, requiring skillful facilitation to balance these interests. This can sometimes result in compromises that dilute the effectiveness of the final design. The third point I'd like to talk about is the risk of groupthink. While co-design aims to leverage diverse perspectives, it can sometimes lead to groupthink, where the desire for consensus overrides the exploration of innovative ideas. Participants may feel reluctant to voice dissenting opinions, leading to solutions that are safe but lack creativity. This issue can arise in the design of community services for people with disabilities. The pressure to reach a consensus amongst various advocacy groups and service users can result in solutions that may be conventional and fail to push the boundaries of what is possible in terms of accessibility and innovation. The fourth point I'd like to talk about is resource intensive. Co-design is resource intensive, requiring skilled facilitators and extensive time, space and materials. For organisations with limited budgets, this can be a barrier to effective implementation. Now I'd like to talk about the ugly of co-design. The first point I'd like to talk about is tokenism. One of the ugliest aspects of co-design is the risk of tokenism. Sometimes organisations may engage in co-design superficially, using it as a box-ticking exercise to claim they've involved stakeholders without genuinely valuing their input. This can lead to disillusionment among participants and a loss of trust in the process. The second point I'd like to talk about is the overemphasis on consensus. While consensus is a key goal in co-design, an overemphasis on achieving it can stifle innovation and lead to suboptimal solutions. In some cases, the drive for consensus can result in designs that are bland or fail to address critical needs effectively. The third point I'd like to talk about is the exclusion of marginalised voices. Despite its intent to be inclusive, co-design can sometimes unintentionally exclude marginalised voices. If not carefully managed, the process can be dominated by more vocal or powerful participants, leading to a skewed perspective that does not fully represent the needs of all stakeholders. The fourth point I'd like to talk to you about is implementation challenges. Even when co-design produces innovative and user-centered solutions, implementation can be challenging. There can be a disconnect between the design process and the practical realities of executing the ideas. Issues such as budget constraints, technical feasibility, and bureaucratic hurdles can impede the successful realisation of co-designed solutions. I'd like to make a few concluding remarks. So the first thing I'd like to say that if you're going to engage in co-design effectively, that it's important to do so from the very beginning, from the conception stage of an idea, right through to what it would take to implement, what it would take to design and carry out, and also the evaluation process at the end. Even though today I've discussed the bad and the ugly of co-design, I believe each of these barriers, if they're successfully worked through and talked about up front, they can actually be addressed, and therefore making co-design a good process that should always be entered into and engaged with. And we need to do this right from the beginning of conception of an idea through to evaluation of its effectiveness. Thank you for listening.